So Toby, thank you very much for joining the constellation. Thank you very much for being today here with us. I will start with one question. What do you think a leader should take as an action tomorrow, starting tomorrow, to have his or her team prepare for disruption?
Very good. It might be more than one action, but the thing that I would encourage any leader to do is to be thinking about the culture that they're creating around them. We would always say that leaders define culture. So if you want to prepare other people to be disruptive leaders, you actually need to help them take responsibility for the culture that they're creating. And we would say culture, good disruptive culture, is defined by two different components. One is support, and the other is challenge. So support is, are you as a leader encouraging and supporting other people, affirming them, calling them up? Are you encouraging people to be the biggest and the best that they can be? Challenge is actually where you're calling people to a higher standard, where you're actually pushing them to take more responsibility for their own behavior. You're pushing them to take more responsibility for their performance. So if you want to raise up people who are disruptive leaders, you need to encourage them as a leader by giving them support and bringing challenge to them. If you bring support and challenge to leaders around you, what you'll find is that they mature, that they feel more empowered, and they feel more able to own their opinions and their views. We often find so many people within workplaces don't freely share their views and opinions because they either feel like they're not valued, they're dominated by leaders, or they feel like that nothing ever really happens with the ideas when they share them. So I would say as a leader, if you want to create an environment where other leaders around you, really are able to be disruptive in the truest sense of the word, then we would encourage you to liberate people by bringing support and challenge. Call them up to a higher level, and show them and teach them how to take more and more responsibility for themselves, for their behavior and for their views and opinions.
Okay. Is it possible to show leadership in the same room where your former leader is? Is it possible for each team members to show leadership and take accountability even the official member is there?
Absolutely. I would say categorically, leadership is not about position, role or title. Leadership is influence. So if we first need to dial back to the assumption under the question, which would suggest that we can't lead and influence if there is somebody who holds a role and a title in the room. So we would say leadership always, everyone's leading somebody, even if it's only themselves. And so we actually would really want to encourage people, and I would treat it as my responsibility as a leader, as an influencer in any environment, to encourage people to own their own influence. Leadership starts with you. And so we actually want to create a culture where people own their own leadership. Because leadership starts with you first, or influence starts with you first. It then trickles out through 5 different spheres. So yourself, your family, your team, your organization and your community. But I guess we would strongly encourage people to not limit leadership to role or title. And I guess at a personal level, I've always made it my view to respect title, but to be indifferent to it. I don't think that my influence is determined by your title in any way at all. I want to respect it, but I want to be indifferent to it.
Do you remember when was the moment in life when you started to have this kind of mindset?
Yeah, very good question. There was a leader that I once spent quite a lot of time with, who was quite a mentor to me, and there was a phrase that he used a few times with me that I think really stuck with me. And he said to me at least twice, he said, "Toby, the thing is, your future, your destiny lies in you learning to take responsibility for yourself." And I think actually that started a process for me realizing that actually my influence is defined by me. It's not defined by you. So my capacity to be able to lead and influence others is not a derivative of their role or title. It's actually a derivative of my capacity to take responsibility for my views, my behaviour and my opinions.
Okay, thank you.
Not at all, thank you.